Hey, Instagram, how are you? Happy Monday. I hope you're doing well. My name is Sonia Rodriguez. I am so excited to be back. I took a little bit of a hiatus from really being active on social media because the last few weeks, actually probably the last few months, have been so incredible in terms of honestly the information I'm learning, just different trainings I've been going to. A few months ago, I signed on with a new business coach, and it's so interesting because whenever you start working with someone new, there's just different awarenesses, there's different things, that are available to you, and that's kind of what's been happening for me. Hey, Legendary Beauty Art, nice to see you. Welcome. So today, I am going to be talking about how to start taking your brand to a more global level and how you can start doing it now. I'm waving back. Hey, Boy Toy 9, nice to see you. Welcome. You're coming at the perfect time. As I said, the topic today is what you can do to start taking your beauty brand to a global level. And whether you watch this live or you watch this later on, welcome. I hope that this is informative because there are many things that you can start doing right now. And here's the thing. Without even a major budget to start really bringing your business online. Hey, C Fashion 12, nice to see you. Say my username, please. You're so funny. I just said it, and I said it before you even asked. So before I get started, I'm curious to know if there's anyone that's on this live who is already doing using any type of tactics, and if you're doing anything in terms of marketing your business online. I'm always curious to know what it is that you're doing and what are the results that you're getting. And I will share with you what I've been doing in the last few years, and I'm going to say the last year and a half, really, and it's been really impactful. Hey, Spa Bryant, nice to see you. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're here. This is, I think, a topic that'll really, that might be very timely for you. Artistry by Cynthia is on. Welcome. Again, if you're just joining and if you happen to stumble on today, I'm going to be talking about how to take your beauty brand to a global level and how to use it in terms of online marketing. So, let me say this. I think that there are many tactics. Hi, Spa Bryant. I think there's many different tactics that can be applied in terms of any strategy of any form of marketing. And it's important, I think, to understand what a tactic is as opposed to a plan. And a tactic is the tool. It's, the vehicle, the thing that you use to get you closer to the desired, outcome. And I guess the vehicle is the plan, right? And the tools are the actual, are you hosting a class? Are you, doing sales calls, things like that. Hey, MHD 0189. I'm just going to call you MHD from now on. Gorgeous. Hi, Gorgeous J just joined. That's a clever name. And Mia Laudit, I hope I'm saying it right. Welcome, you guys. The conversation today is what you can start doing now to take your beauty brand to a global level. Now, the good news about this is that it really doesn't matter the size of your business now. It doesn't matter whether you have a brick and mortar. It doesn't matter if you have 3 clients or 1,000 clients. Marketing your business online is something that you can do at any point of your business. So for those of you that are just joining, welcome. Angelica Artistry just hopped on as well. I'd love to know if there's anything that you're doing right now in terms of marketing your business online. I'm curious to know what you think that is. What does online marketing mean to you? And what kind of results have you been getting? Has it been working? Hey, Nora Robertson, MUA, welcome. Very simply, I believe that any type of plans have to be simple. And they have to be simple because if the plan is overly complicated, then it's very challenging to stick to the plan. Would you guys agree with that? Type in the chat box or send some likes if you would agree that it is important to have a simple plan, because the more simple it is, the more easy it is to stay accountable to it, to stay committed to it, and to actually fulfill the plan. C Fashion 12 says, would you say that there's a certain path to take your business to the top level, or are there many ways to start? As in what would be your advice to start new? Yeah, and you know what, it's a fantastic question, C Fashion 12, and the reality is that there's no one way. There's many ways you can do it. And if you're in the beauty space, with the word fashion, I'm assuming there's some type of relationship with fashion or beauty. I'm sure you've already noticed that different businesses have found success in various ways. So there really isn't one way. I think that the best way is the way that resonates the most with you. And that's really important, because if it's something that just doesn't feel right, I'll give you a perfect example. I'm not a blogger. I prefer to do video content. I like talking. I like the spontaneity of it. Like, I like having a general idea of what I'm going to say and just kind of flowing with it. So in the past, I've been, given the advice that if I had a blog, it would really help, but it just doesn't work for me. Now, I know someone she's been blogging for like 10 years and has built this tremendous following because she had this blog, and it went viral. So she is now, because she spent all these years blogging, but she didn't really have a business that was thriving around it. And now she's learning certain tools around sales and creating offers and things like that. But it started because of her blogging. Now for me, it started very differently. I started speaking at events and hosting my own events and doing cold calls. Like, that really worked for me. And that felt right for me. So I'm definitely going to give you some ideas and some things that you can look at in terms of online marketing. And this goes for everybody that's on, and whoever watches this, whenever you watch this. These are merely just suggestions, tactics, things that have worked for me, things that I continue to do. And for sure, this is the direction that I'm taking my business, my clients in the Beauty Mastermind. This is the direction that I am going to be taking them in, because I have found that it's really worked for me. And, I believe in teaching something that has given me results, because I know that it's real, and I can walk it and I can talk it. So if you are a business, and I want you to type in the chat box, say, that's me, if this at all sounds like your business. You have a following of 10,000 or less on social media. And, and even if you added up all the platforms, you still don't have 10,000. If you have a following of less than 10,000 people on social media, type in the chat box and say, that's me. If you are someone who has an email list of 1,000 people or less, or don't have an email list at all, say, that's me. If you are someone who has a business that only makes money when you show up to perform the service. So if you're a makeup artist, that means you're actually showing up to the person's home or to the job to actually do the makeup. That's how your business makes money. Say, that's me. And if you're saying that's me, fantastic. That's why I'm happy that you're here, because I'm going to help you see how it doesn't matter how many people you have following you. There's so much that you can do with your already existing list as you continue to grow it. Now, I want to also make sure that if you look at my following, I have about 6,500 people following me, or maybe 6,600. I don't even know. Now, the thing I want you to focus on about that is, because my game is about, it's very strategic. So certainly I'm interested in growing my following. Now, it's also not growing at the pace that I wanted to, like, honestly, and I give my attention to other things. If I was someone who sat here all day and just worked on my social media and was constantly engaged, like, that strategy would work. But for me, I know that if I have the right people, if I have an engaged audience, then when I have something to actually offer, I have people that are interested. So that's when the number doesn't matter. Okay, so I want to give you that reframe because I am a living, breathing example of someone who has a multiple six-figure business with not a large following. So I just want to acknowledge, Spot Bryant says, that's me. Hey, how do I say it? Amore Sings. Welcome. Artistry by Cynthia says that's me. Legendary Beauty Art says that's me. Fantastic. So welcome. This is why you're here, and know that you're not alone. This is not just your business. It's really most people. C Fashion 12 says, I asked this because it's like there's a lot of the same products with just different brand names. So what would be the step to make your brand name stand out? Yeah. And I think it depends. I really believe, well, let me just say this. I think how your brand stands out is by authentically being you. And I'm not just saying be yourself and hey, Serena Ann 99 and hey, Isha and hey, Tim Nicholson. I'm not saying just be yourself and everything's gonna be amazing. I'm saying stay in your lane and, position yourself as the expert of the thing that you do. Expert positioning is so important. So, one thing that what is exactly the service that you provide? C Fashion 12. I'd love to put it into a more specific perspective so it makes sense for you. And while C Fashion does that, why don't I talk about the first thing that you can do to start taking your brand to a global level? Now, here's what's amazing about social media. Even if you have a large following or not, what social media has done for all of us is it's leveled the playing field, meaning that you can communicate, connect with anyone, anywhere all over the world, unless they're not on social media. So where years ago you could only have a client that just lived down the street or could literally only interact with you face to face, that no longer exists. So in the beauty space, what you have to start asking yourself is, what can I do? What can I provide online? Because there's so much you can do. Is this making sense so far, you guys? This idea of now you have more potential clients all over the world, and you don't have to just market and speak to the people around the corner from you. That's a really important thing for you to know, because that is where the opportunity lies. We also have Wild Rock, who just joined. Hey, so C Fashion 12 says, honestly, I'm still a student, but I've always dreamt of launching a beauty and fashion brand. But coming from a small country, I don't have much opportunity, so I need all the advice I can get. Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate you being on. And I think there's also there is an importance of timing. And what I'm hearing right now is that you are a student, and the fact that you're a student is so wonderful. Like, for the rest of my life, I will be a student of business, a student of life, and it's through being the student that's how you're going to find what your specialty is, because what I'm hearing is that there is no specificity yet in exactly what's the service, the product, what you're going to be offering, and it's okay. I think that you are in a phase of exploration. Now, my suggestion to you, C Fashion, would be to continue, again, since you're coming from a small country, that you have access to so much available information online, and I hope that you'll keep coming back, and I can continue to provide value for you. But I think right now, if you were coming to me as a potential client, I would say to you, I think it's also important that your timing right now is about actually learning the thing that you're ultimately going to do. Like, you have to have a marketable service. So is there something, C Fashion, that right now you are interested in selling, or you're already selling? Because what I'm getting mainly is that you're in student mode. And if that's what it is, I would say, great, keep doing that. Hey, Anna's Makeup Artistry. I am so happy you're here, actually, because I'm seeing what you're doing on social media. And I don't know if you just happened to stumbled onto this today. I'm talking about how to take your beauty brand to a global level. And you are a perfect candidate for opportunities in online marketing. So I think the timing is amazing. For those of you that are on, if you're not, if you are watching this now, obviously, I check out Anna's makeup artistry. That's the profile. Check out her profile. She's doing beautiful work. And if you're watching this later, check out the profile. Your work is gorgeous, and I see that you're doing, some hands-on class and some live trainings. And I don't know if there's an online component, but you're definitely someone who has a tremendous opportunity here to create something that you can also, where you can serve clients online. Like, if I was going to cherry pick someone, I would cherry pick you. So I hope that, that you find this informative. So let me talk about the 3 things that you can start doing. Okay. So the first thing, you guys, is lead magnets. If you don't know what a lead magnet is, the idea is that your potential clients are potential leads, right? They're leads. So what does a magnet do? A magnet attracts. It attracts. So the idea of a lead magnet is putting something out, typically low ticket or free, to incite or to invoke interest. The idea of a magnet is that you're not being pushy about it, you're offering, you're giving, right? You're just putting it out there, and it's giving the person the opportunity to get a taste of what it is that you do, to get a feel of what it might be like to work with you. Like for someone like me, it's like you get an idea of, some of my trainings, what that really looks like, what it feels like. And it might allow you to make a decision later on to invest in my services if it feels like the right fit. So here's what you need to know about social media and just purchasing behavior now. The last time that I heard the statistic, I think it was a lead needs about 9 to 10 touches from you before they're ready to actually make a buying decision. And that's really important for you to know, because if you are someone who wants to bring in more clients, which I think we all do, and you're not nurturing them, if you're not giving them enough touches before you're asking them for something, then there's a missed opportunity there. So I type in the chat box and let me know if that makes sense, because lead magnets are really important. They're also very simple to create, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can create them. I do also want to say hello to La Chic Beauty Bar, who just joined. Anna's makeup artistry says, thank you, Sonia. I have bad reception where I am, but I can't wait to meet. Yeah, seriously, looking forward to meeting you again. So, okay, you guys, so here's the deal with lead magnets. Come up with it, and you may already have it. If you are someone who is, first, let me start with the easiest one. I'm an educator, so this is going to be very easy. If you already have content, you guys, what the hell is this? Okay, sorry. If you already have content that's created, you most likely have something that you can use as a lead magnet. Okay, so when I create a lead magnet, for example, I have one that it's a PDF, and it's the 7 reasons why live events. And basically it is 7 reasons why a beauty professional really could be and should be having live events, because it is, for me, it's been a game changer it's multiplied my revenue. It's definitely built a strong following. There's so many, it's positioned me as an expert. It does so many things for the brand. It's also a huge part of my marketing and my sales plan. If I need to generate new revenue, I can just go ahead and decide to put on an event. So all of these reasons why live events matter. So the idea is this: I have a course on live events. So how this could help is if someone gets that list and sees, wow, these actually make sense. Now there is an awareness where maybe before they weren't thinking, like, okay, as a beauty professional, I never thought of events. And really the reality is, whether you're new or you've been doing this forever, events is absolutely, I believe, a necessity these days to have. So the idea is it's giving you an awareness of why that concept is important. Now, it won't resonate for everybody. Someone might say, this is bullshit, and this makes no sense for me. I don't want to do events. For someone else, it might inspire like, oh, that makes sense. So that's me giving some type of free value. I'm often asked about what does adding value mean? What does adding value? This is how you add value. You give information. Now, if you're a makeup artist, what you can do is you can have a PDF of, the top 5 products that every person needs, right? And why they need them. That might be a great way to position you as an expert, give a person the opportunity to get a taste, a touch from you before making an investment, okay? I have found that by offering, giving freebies like that and low ticket, it's definitely something that invokes interest. And the more you do it, I've been coaching and mentoring for almost like 3.5 years. 3.5 years now. So I can now also go back to previous trainings that I've had, and very quickly create a PDF or take a video from a training that I did before and offer that as a lead magnet. So that's the first touch, okay? C Fashion says, this is so helpful. I'm so glad there are people like you who take the time to share. Oh my God, it's my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for that. That's very sweet. But here's the thing. My end game is like, listen, you guys, we got to get this together, and we have to really start looking at online marketing for your beauty business for real. Because here's the one thing that I'm noticing, and like for years I have positioned myself as the sales and live events expert in beauty. Hey, Jay Winter Makeup and Alex Ray, nice to see you. Yay! I'm so excited you're coming to the mastermind. Okay, sorry. I've been positioning myself as the sales expert and the events expert. Now, the reality is that I'm seeing that many of my clients and many beauty professionals on social media right now are trying to market online and have no idea what they're doing. And it's driving me nuts. It's literally driving me nuts, because what I'm seeing is you don't know how to write copy, what to actually put with a post, where the post will actually matter to someone, where it will matter enough that that person makes a decision, whether it's, a purchasing decision with you, where they take an action. And it's so much of that is, it's not just about the picture, it's about the copy with it. And it's also about providing value. So think about starting to create lead magnets. And they're very simple. Creating a PDF is a very simple thing to do. I suggest branding it. And you can also create like 5 or 7 minute videos, a video on a smoky eye, a video on how to create the perfect curl, a video on, how to create that perfect nail art, a video on how to find the perfect light when you're doing your makeup, a video on how to find the perfect light when you're doing someone else's makeup. There's so many ideas, like it's actually crazy. So that's strategy number 1, to create lead magnets, okay? Strategy number 2, yay, Alex Ray says, me too. Yes, I'm so thrilled. Alex Ray is a member of the Beauty Mastermind. She's part of the Trailblazer community, and she's going to be taking part in a mastermind weekend I'm hosting in September, where we're mapping out 12-month plans for everyone, for all of the artists that are going to be there. So I'm thrilled that you're going to be there. Hey, Cape Town, I'm just going to say Cape 249. Welcome. Okay, so are you guys clear on what a lead magnet is? Type in the chat box or give me a heart or something. Say yes, let me know that you understand the lead magnet. It's very simple, super cost effective as well. It does not cost money to sit down and to create a lead magnet. So number 2 is, okay, so this one's a little bit more advanced, but I want you to start thinking about it. Webinars. Now, we have a specific opportunity in beauty that a lot of industries don't have. Online marketing is really there is online marketing that exists in beauty now. However, a lot of the tactics that are being used are tactics that they're a bit old school, to be honest. Like online marketing shifts and changes, like, the algorithms on Instagram often. So there's a lot of strategies and tactics that I'm seeing that are just, it's the old way of doing things. And there's no right or wrong. What I have found is that I care about, being in the company and learning from online marketers who are on the cutting edge, who understand what are the best tools to use right now, what are the best methods of communicating, what are the actual tactics that are converting. So webinars has been something that for the last year and a half has been highly converting for me. So what a webinar is, it's an online based training. Typically it's free. Hey, how do I say it? Brown-eyed Trina. Hi. So what a webinar is, it's an online based training that's typically free. And the idea is that someone, again, can come and experience, some type of training, something from you. So if you are, I'm going to, use the example of a makeup artist. If you're a makeup artist, it could be, them seeing a piece of your work. But I think it's actually more compelling to not only show them your work, but actually tell them about your system of how you serve your clients. So if you're someone who works with brides, what is the process? Like I say this to my clients all the time. If you are someone who wants to raise the investment, you want a bride to invest at a higher level with you, so you decide to throw in touch-up services into what you're doing, she's going to need to know why those touch-up services are important. So what's wonderful about a training like a webinar is that in the webinar, you can explain what all of the possible things that could happen on a wedding day, why touch-ups would be important. Also, touch-ups are important because it's a long day. She's going to cry, right? After the ceremony, she's most likely going to cry. So a touch-up right there would be really appropriate. If she's got a dress change, a makeup enhancement might make sense. So she's taking pictures outside, right? There's many reasons why a touch-up would make sense. She needs to know why. So the idea that I have found with a webinar is that you can help someone solve a potential problem that they have. But if they don't know that they have the problem, they need to know that the problem exists. So for a bride who's planning her wedding and she's excited about the wedding day and all the fun stuff, she's not really thinking about things that could go wrong. Now, as the professional, you've been in situations where you've seen it happen before, right? You have peers who've had, horror stories working with different weddings with just things happening because they were not planned or set up in a way to support and protect the bride from things happening. So imagine hosting a webinar that is information-based with that. What that does is it changes you, it separates you from everyone else who is literally just talking about, look at this pretty lipstick. Now it makes sense. You have a process that you walk your brides through. It's why you get the results that you get. It's why your brides are always happy and look amazing. And that certainly adds value. There's trust that you're also building because now people understand that it's not just the actual application, that you are really looking at every possible scenario that could happen and you have a solution for it. So let me know, type in the chat box or send me a heart. Let me know if that makes sense to you, whether you're a makeup artist or not. Find the problem first find the problem because everyone has a problem. So you have to find the problem that you solve and then talk about what the problem is and talk about how you offer the solution. So the idea of a webinar is to create the awareness, right? To give them a little bit of the why and also the what. Now, here's the thing. This is where most people get stuck. They want to give them the how. And the how happens in the actual offer. It happens when they become a client. So it's very different. You're just creating awareness around it. Now, what a webinar has is there's also an invitation for something else. It might be an invitation to a one-on-one call. It might be an invitation to an actual offer. I've done both actually. I've made a particular offer for programs where people can just opt in and put their credit card information in and purchase. I've also offered a one-on-one call with me where we get on the phone and I figure out what is the best offer for them. So there's different ways to do it. Now, the beauty of webinars is that you can record them, you can use them as lead magnets moving forward, but it's also you've given people more information. You're giving your audience more information, more reasons to make an educated decision, because ultimately, when I do a webinar, my intention is always, I want to create the awareness for you of what you could have. I want to share with you how I have done it, because that's showing you that I've done it, right? I actually know what I'm talking about. I'm an expert at this. Hey guys, I see, how do I say, Tuju Fell, Deeds, MUA, and BTH Artistry. Hey. We're just sitting here talking about some online marketing. We're talking about webinars right now. So my intention with a webinar is always to create the awareness around what's the problem. If someone has that problem, they're going to resonate with that webinar. Number two, it's how I've solved that problem for myself, how I've solved it for my clients, and it's usually through the strategy. I'm sharing like the what. Like what made it possible to create that change. And the third part is about the actual offer. So there's always an invitation. Like if this feels right to you, if you would like to do this and like to have my support in helping you with this, here's the invitation for you to do it. Now, if you're not doing webinars, I would love for you to start thinking about them, because here's the beauty about doing them in the beauty space. Most people that I've noticed that are calling their online trainings webinars don't actually have a structured webinar. They don't. It's basically like a version of a live. There is an actual formula. There's actually several formulas to doing lives, but I have a particular formula that I use that is highly converting. And what that means is every time I do a webinar, it is a profitable webinar. There's a new client coming on. They're making the decision to say yes. It is a profit producing activity for my business. It's also positioning me as an expert. It's also creating a lead magnet for me. So I love activities where more than one thing is happening at one time. And that's why webinars are fantastic. So I want to put that on your radar if it's not something that you're doing. If you have a service-based business, again, if you are a makeup artist, if you work with brides, I love using that example, having a webinar could really be compelling. And I hear so many artists who are like, I want to do destination brides. Well, if you want to do destination brides, most times they don't live where you live, right? So imagine being able to market to them and provide them with an experience of your services, whether they live right next door or they live in Alaska, right? So it's just an opportunity. It's a way for you to start to nurture those relationships, no matter where you live. I do all my webinars here. Sometimes I'll wear a nice top and, pajama bottoms. That's another beauty of it, the comfort of doing it from your own home. And I have to tell you, there is something really amazing about finishing a webinar and then hearing the alerts that, of the sales coming in. Like that's an amazing feeling. And it's just literally a couple hours, me being at home. Okay. So think about webinars. Here's the suggestion I'm going to make in terms of webinars. If this is something that's resonating for you, I highly invite you to, I'm planning to do a webinar in probably the next month or so. So I invite you to participate in that. And if you click on the link in my bio, there's actually the free training, the 6 Steps to the 6-Figure Makeup Business is a webinar. So you can actually watch a sample. I'm using it as a lead magnet. So feel free to watch that. But here's another thing I'm going to ask of you. Please start registering for webinars of marketers who are not in beauty. So think of, if there's a, because right now on Facebook and on Instagram, you're probably getting tons of, sponsored posts of, watch this free training and this and that. Like I invite you to start watching them and not only consume the content, but like, what are they doing? Because that formula, every time they do that, the reason why they keep doing it and the reason why you're inundated with all of these opportunities to take these trainings is because webinars work. So I invite you to start looking at what online marketers are doing, especially online marketers that are not in beauty. Because I find that, I'm seeing more consistency and more impactful tactics outside of beauty. Okay. All right. So is this helping you guys? Type in the chat box or send me a little heart. Let me know if this is helping. Okay. The last thing, this one is a little bit more specific to educators. If you're looking to educate, thank you. Spot Brian says, yes, this is helping. I'm glad that it is. You're definitely someone, Spot Brian, that you have been in this industry long enough that if you're not looking at tactics like this, last we spoke, I know that, you were making some transitions and stuff, and I think that they're wonderful. I hope that they're going well. And this is something that you can start to explore, because what you have is years of experience. So you have something that is teachable. And I think there's a tremendous potential of you taking this online. I really do. For you, I think events and online would be tremendous. So for some of these people that I'm kind of calling out, I've either had, some type of conversation with them, or they've taken part in one of my courses or come to one of my events. So I happen to know a little bit about their business, which is why I can kind of just say this stuff. So, hey, Miguel Gonzalez and Ray Joe and La Marie Butte. Hi. Welcome, you guys. We have been talking about steps that you can take to take your brand to the global level, and it's all about online marketing. So, if you've missed most of this, if you're hopping on now, I've covered 2 of the ways. I'm going to cover the 3rd one now, but I'm going to be sharing this for 24 hours, so you can come back and watch the entire training if you've missed any part of it. La Marie Butte, you're definitely someone, watch this whole thing as well, because I'm so excited that you recently had your event, and I know that there's another one that's in the works. And ultimately, I see you also going in this direction as well. You've been in the beauty industry for quite a long time, and you have a level of expertise that you can be doing, these trainings. You're actually hopping on at the perfect time too, because the last one that I'm going to talk about is the thing that has leveraged my business tremendously online. So the lead magnets and the webinars have been really major in creating the connection with the potential client. As I said before, the last time that I was updated on the statistic, it was taking about 9 to 10 touches before a person actually makes a buying decision with your business. So you have to touch someone, and not physically, but they have to experience something with your brand at least 9 to 10 times for someone to say, okay. And it's not guaranteed, right? They have to actually like what's happening and feel connected to it, but it's taking that many times. So with that being said, it's important to have, different touches, different ways that they can interact with you before they make that decision. Give them the reason to make the decision to say yes. So that's what the webinars and the lead magnets have done. By the way, doing these lives is also another form of a lead magnet. So you can download these, you can save them, you can put them up on a YouTube as well. There's so much you can do with them. So everything that you're doing, I recommend record it, save it, use it, repurpose it. You can transcribe this. If I really wanted to, I could sit down and transcribe this talk, and it could be another lead magnet. It could be like an ebook. So it's just about changing the form of it. Okay. So I hope this is really, I don't know if it's lame, but I'm getting excited with this because there's just so much potential with the things you're already doing. Okay. So the last one, this is for those of you who are, a few steps ahead. Ultimately, these lead magnets and webinars are leading to something. Okay. So the idea is, what I've done and has helped my business tremendously, because I basically have an online business, is having online courses. So creating an online course, I think the most important thing about creating an online course is that there is a progression to it, that there's clearly a step 1 to step 2, there's an order for it. And I find that a lot of times when, beauty professionals are putting together any type of course. And by the way, you could put together a course for a potential bride, which is a course on how to find your perfect artist, a course on how to make sure that your beauty team is exactly who you need, how to know what to ask for. It doesn't have to be, my courses are business based, and they're towards beauty professionals, so they're a bit longer term, but there are things that you can offer. If you really think about it, there's ways that you can create some type of mini course for any type of client that you're looking to serve. So what's been valuable about online courses is that typically the investment is higher, right? It's higher. Obviously, it's not free. What I have done in the past is I have literally sold the course before I even created it. What I did know was I didn't know what the course was about, right? So my first course was a sales course. I didn't know what the course was about, but the beauty of it was I sold it before I actually created it, because the accountability of someone having invested in this made it real for me. Here's the benefit of it too, was that first of all, it happened because it needed to, because someone had paid for it, right? And I actually had several people pay for it. The other benefit of it was I got paid to create my course. So that was lovely. The final part of it is once the course was done, now I had something that was recorded that I could sell on its own, whether I was doing a cycle, because typically I have an online course, and then I have a membership area where all of the material is recorded, and then the group calls, we're doing Q&A. So I could sell this at any time, and invite them to come be part of the group calls during the next cycle. But the idea was this: now I had something that I had already done the work, and I can sell over and over and over and over. And this is how we start getting into more passive income. You might have heard that term before, which is, making money for something you've already done and not having to do the work again. So there's a lot of benefits in that moving forward. Now, here's the thing. If you are brand new, how do I say it? Oils Guru and beautifully, hi, and Glam Tam Tam, welcome. So I want to put online courses on your radar, and there are some wonderful tools. Teachable.com is a really great platform where you can house your an online course. It's pretty a low investment per month. I think it's like $30 a month, or maybe $37 a month. For your webinars, you can host them on Zoom. I absolutely love that tool. It's also pretty inexpensive. But these are things that can start to help really propel. Like, what you want to be doing is you want to be building assets. So think about what is it that you could offer your potential client now online, and remember, I think that the base of all of this is this idea of, before a lead is ready to make a purchasing decision, they typically need to interact with your brand 9 to 10 times before that. So are you giving your potential leads, your potential clients, the opportunity to engage with you 9 to 10 times, so that by the time that the invitation to invest in your services is presented, they have spent enough time with the brand. They feel it, they're connected to it, and it makes sense for them. So this is a great way to nurture your audience. This is also why you don't need a large audience. I'm not saying to not build your audience on social media. What I'm saying is that no matter how big or small the audience is now, there's something that you can start doing now to nurture the people that you have. Now, I also want to be clear that if you're someone who happens to have a large following, that's fantastic. My suggestion for you would be to also nurture them, because let's be clear about who really is a potential buyer, right? And who isn't. I would, any day of the week, prefer to have a small following of an audience that invests consistently in what I do, as opposed to a really large audience that doesn't really do anything. So it really depends on how you look at it. Now, the ultimate goal is a huge audience that invests all the time, right? But while you're getting there, in the meantime, these are 3 things that you can start doing. If you're not yet ready for an online course or anything like that, start small. Start by creating the lead magnets. And I invite you to also consistently do something like a live. This is a great touch point. This is a great way for people to connect with you. I invite you to watch this one again with that awareness now, because I'm certainly using it to nurture my audience. I certainly am. I've made the intention that every time I do a live, I'm going to have something really good to say. So I'd rather do them less consistently. Like, my goal right now is going to be one time a week, but I want the content to be really good, to be really solid. Why? Because I want my audience to know that every single time they tune into something that I do, that they're leaving with something of value. Because I know that it takes at least 9 to 10 touches of my brand for someone to say, this feels right for me. So with that, I'm going to leave you here. Thank you so much for being on. And if you're watching this at a later date, or a later time, I hope that it truly helps. Marketing your business online, I'm going to, this is really the last thing I'm going to say. I think that there's different phases for it, okay? I truly believe that there are different points. I've been approached in the past by, potential clients and artists who are ready to create a program, and I might say to them, the timing isn't exactly right. So what I've done is I've shared with you 3 potential things. You have to really gauge where you are in your business. And if right now you're not to the point of creating an online course, my suggestion is start with lead magnets, start with consistently doing lives, start with webinars, and invite them to a one-on-one call with you. Because with don't discount the importance and the value that someone can get in a one-on-one conversation with you. And I have found that has actually been the most impactful strategy, getting people on the phone and having a conversation with them. So I hope this helps. I look forward to seeing lead magnets and things you do. In fact, I invite you to send me a DM if you have a lead magnet or something now, or if you just posted it, send me a DM, let me know. I want to see it. You're so very welcome, Spa Brian. I really appreciate you being on. Spa Brian says, thank you, learn something new every time. That's the plan. So have a wonderful rest of the day. Have an incredible week, and I can't wait to see your lead magnets. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.